Hello my beautiful souls, welcome. Anna Alchemist of the Arts here, back with another reading. I promised this to my Instagram followers. I did a poll on my stories actually at the end of last week, so it is time to do this reading. It feels fitting that I'm going to do it at the moment, at the time of this reading where we've just had the new moon and entered the lunar new year into the year of the fire horse. So that feels fitting. I do like to work within these portals and the energy of them in order to create these readings. And I remember one or two of you asking me before if I could actually shuffle the cards on camera. Now, I have already picked sort of one, this one has two, but one card each from the Woodland Warden's Oracle. But then I figured I will actually do the rest of the shuffling in this sort of intro section for the reading. Maybe that appeals to some of you. I know it won't be all of you. I will, as always, put the timestamps in the description box below, so you can just jump straight to your reading. But if you like to have a bit of a preamble with me, then let's get into it. So we have three potential piles here for your reading. The theme of this reading, as you've probably clicked on, is going to be a positive change in your path forwards. So we're focused on the positive changes, the momentum, the forward movement, and we will be getting messages around that. Now, you might have a couple of different situations on your mind. Maybe you are thinking of multiple paths. Maybe there is one very specific path that you are thinking of. You don't actually have to be thinking about a particular path at all. Part of these readings is that they will reveal potential unknowns, maybe a shift in perspective, but as ever, this is reading the present energy, and you will naturally be drawn to the card that will reflect your present energy back to you. So this reading is not a determination on your future. You have the power to shift, you have free will, you can change your path, change your course at any given moment, and it always feels really important to me to clarify that with you. So let's get in and do the rest of the shuffling. We have pile 1, which is the smoky quartz, pile 2, which is this beautiful piece of citrine. Appreciate you can't see these very well. But we've got citrine there, and then pile number 3, which is the rose quartz. Now we're going to burn a little bit of Palo Santo and just ask for guidance, assistance to provide and reveal the most important messages for everybody connecting with this reading today. I've got some beautiful candles burning and some lovely incense in the background. So let's do some pre-shuffled cards for these piles. So we'll ask for messages for pile number 1, please. Okay, we're gonna flip them. Pile number 2, please. That was easy. And pile number 3, please. There we go. Those 2 there. Okay. So that was the the green. Get your words out, Anna. That was the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. So that is those for each part. I always find it interesting how you get multiple cards sometimes for different piles and not for others. I feel like doing a moon oracle in advance. Ooh. I always do additional oracle cards at the end of the reading, and I am denied about whether or not to do a rune reading for this particular reading. I have decided that I'm going to do tarot for this one. There is another pertinent reading I'm going to try and do in the next few days, which I will do rune only. Pile number 1, please, Spirit. Okay, thank you. Pile number 2. And pile number 3. I'm going to take both. Okay, so that is those. anything else I am being drawn to for each pile? Okay, one of these in advance. I can't remember the name of this deck. It's the Gods, Guides and Guardians, I think, or something like that. It was a Kyle Gray one. Oh, okay, we can't take that many. Just one, please, for pile number 2. Okay. I'm actually going to take that as pile 3s and that as pile 2s. Nope, they weren't happy with that. Okay, pile number 3 then, please. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to just tidy these up ever so slightly. I mean, if you've stayed with me, I appreciate that. I know some people prefer to see me shuffle the cards. I never check them before I never check them before I actually do the reading. Sometimes they turn over, but you can't remember which one's which for each pile. And even then, when you actually put them all together and start reading the cards, it creates a bigger picture. So there's a bit of insight for anybody who's interested in the way that I read. I've got some lovely decks to work with today. Another Oracle deck, the Sacred Traveler Oracle, and also the Wild Unknown Tarot, plus a couple of my usual decks. So if you're still with me, take a moment, take a pause, take a breath. 3 piles to choose from right now. Pile number 1 with the Smoky Quartz. Pile number 2 with the Citrine. Pile number 3 with the Rose Quartz Heart. And we're going to be asking about a positive change or step on your path ahead. So I'm going to pause the video now. You can jump forward to your readings using the timestamps, and I will see you there. Hello, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. If you were called to the Smoky Quartz today, this one is for you. We have pre-selected a number of cards here. I'm going to leave your crystal there. Hopefully you can still see that, connect with it. Smoky Quartz is fantastic for clearing, transmuting particular types of energy, maybe dense energy, negative energy, for clearing that away. Now, we've got your oracle cards here. There's a couple of tarot cards as well. We'll use those, then I'm going to go on and do some other cards. And we're going to be asking for a positive change on your path ahead for the purpose of this reading. Hopefully I can fit everything in. I might have to switch them up a little bit. Okay, so we've got the Quail and the Gooseberry and the Frog and the Lotus. These are from the Woodland Warden's Tarot. So that is Anticipation and Metamorphosis. We've then got the 8 of Swords, that would be. But this is the 8 of Air. Slightly different meaning in this deck. In the Dreams of Gaia. With the Abundance, we've got Don't Let Your Pride Get in the Way with Full Moon in Leo. And Water Guardian, Connect with Your Emotions. Now, interestingly, off the bat, the Water Guardian, connecting with your emotions, is almost guiding you to what you need to do if you are currently struggling with a level of anxiety. We've got Anticipation and Metamorphosis. Things could be very challenging. You could have been on quite a difficult path for some time, not knowing exactly how things are going to work out, struggling to see the light at the end of the tunnel. It feels like there is a big change happening. And with Don't Let Pride Get in Your Way, it almost feels like there is an idea of what you wanted to happen. I don't think you're going to see your blessings yet. I don't think you see them. But it's almost like surrendering a little bit of the control about where this is going. The situation is changing. If you've been worried that things have just been remaining the same, that you're stuck in the same old situation, having the same old experiences, wondering when something's going to change, this reading, the next change on your path is the change. And this change happens almost when you step back, stop overthinking so much, because this 8 of Swords energy can be representative of having a very difficult decision to make, or finding a choice perhaps between 2 different courses of action, maybe 2 different decisions. If those are feeling difficult, you are being led to really reconnecting with your emotions. Now, this can look different for everybody. It can be a moment of quiet, a moment of stillness, a moment of asking, what is it that I need to do? What is it that I truly want? Reconnecting with your own inner being, away from all the noise, all the distractions, all of the thoughts about what should be, with this full moon in Leo, with the pride sort of idea. There might be ideas, thoughts, feelings, beliefs with this Eight of Swords, this Eight of Air, of who you think you are supposed to be, of how you're supposed to act, behave, show up, of the person that other people expect you to be in this present moment. And actually what you might be being guided to is something that is less of what was expected and more of what feels right to you. And this can be a very difficult place to be. It can represent a fundamental shift in how you understand yourself through your emotional integrity, how you really and truly feel about it. And many of us can go through life with the weight of expectations, a role that we have been assigned, perhaps a situation that we just have to react to and manage and deal with. Maybe it's a very high level of stress because of this Eight of Air. You know, this could be high stress, it could be high anxiety, it could just take an awful lot from you. And I'm really getting the sense of like having to try and catch my breath and speaking quickly, and also, you know, wanting to yawn, which is for me a nervous system releaser. You could be very tired, maybe stressed, maybe a bit overwhelmed. And it's like you're being asked to step back for a moment because this change is happening. The positive change in your path is that this change is happening, and it happens. It feels like there is a bit of, you do have some control over this, but not in the way that you think. It's not enforcing a change in the outside world. You can't force other people to behave differently. You can't force work situations to change. What you do is change how you react to them, how you respond to them, whether or not you involve yourself in particular conversations, situations, whether you decide to stick with that job or decide to do something new. Appreciate these aren't small decisions, but reconnecting with yourself as the baseline point before you make any decisions is the positive change on the path. And for some of you, I think there's a feeling of, but I don't want to do that. I want this answer to be given to me. I want the change to happen. And what I'm actually being told is that right now you might have been working towards something for quite a long time. And it could be years. For some of you, it could be over a decade. Maybe this is a career level up. Maybe it was saving towards being able to do something. And actually, there's a part of you now that's like, I don't want this. Or this isn't what I want anymore. It's not, or I'm not doing it in the way that I'm wanting to. It's what I'm being expected to do. And you're actually saying to yourself, I don't want this way. That's the moment the change happens. And it's not the change in the outer world that is the shift for you. It's the inner shift of really reconnecting with your emotions, what you want. And it could be the smallest emotional shift. The moment where you go, actually, perhaps I do want this role, but not with this company. Maybe not in this way exactly. Maybe it's time for me to look for that same role and opportunity, but elsewhere. And it feels like that's just one example. You know, if it was a house, maybe it's that you don't want to buy a particular house you've been working towards anymore. Maybe it's a different house in a different area. Or maybe it's moving. Maybe the house is going to look different. Maybe it's a camper van instead of a house, you know? Those sorts of things. What do you really, really want? It just feels like there is a moment here where you're being asked to look at what it is that you've been trying to change or create and how it makes you feel in order to create that change. And it starts within you. So that's interesting. Let's get some messages for the positive change ahead and how you can support yourself, how you can work with this energy. I don't read this card in any position other than the upright. That is the preference of the person that created it. Yes, I like this. I'm going to take the cards before I say anything else. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is really good energy. One more, please. Just one more, please. Oh, we got 3 more, of course. I'll tell you what I'll do. The bottom of the deck. Star. Okay, and we've got the... I'm totally spacing on my Roman numerals. The 6 of Wands. I love that. The Death card and the Sun card. Wow. Let me just check these are all in frame. This is really, really, really powerful energy of transformation. That metamorphosis energy right here with the 6 of Wands, Death, and then the Sun, plus the Star, total rebirth, reinvention of the self, especially with this blue butterfly. This for me is one of the, for me personally, is a message of great personal spiritual transformation. This is really reconnecting with the truth of your own heart, this star energy. What is it that you want? What is the dream? Because these cards right here are telling you not to settle. You might want the change. And in that moment, sometimes before you actually get the thing, it feels like it's furthest away, and it's not. That this victory is coming. You might have had many setbacks and disappointments here with this 5 of Pentacles. You might have felt like everyone else was getting these opportunities and they passed you by. You might have felt like the doors were shutting and everyone else was achieving the success. But with the Daughter of Cups here, the Page of Cups, there is a promise. There is a promise that the thing that you want is coming. This commitment, opportunity, the reason to celebrate with this 4 of Wands also looks like some very powerful runes. Personally it's a bind rune I've created for something else, completely unrelated. I just see Othala and Ingvars within there, and also Canaz. This is literally saying there is something that is destined, something that's meant to be, something that you have hoped for, wished for, dreamed for in the future, and you've held it in the future, and I feel like you've been disappointed because you haven't received those opportunities. But there is going to be a spark of brand new energy, something that ignites within you, something that gives you a channel, a redirection. It might take some work here with the 8 of Pentacles, but it feels like the type of work that creates something worthwhile. It creates this brand new, it's reinvention of the self. You couldn't have had what it was before. Before this moment right now, you couldn't have had the thing that you were hoping and dreaming for, because it wasn't really, truly this wish, this dream, this vision, this destined version of you. I know it's a bitter pill to swallow sometimes, but the adversity that we go through are the things that teach us, that help us to become the person that can actually have them. And sometimes being able to have it, to achieve it, to grasp it is one thing, but to be able to hold it, to nurture it, to maintain it is another energy entirely. This is you securing the second. That's why the emotional self, the true identity is so important. The abundance card is there. This is coming. This is happening. What you need to do and achieve, bear with me just a sec. Sorry, I thought it had stopped filming there. I just wanted to make sure it hadn't. What it's asking you to do is to not settle. Do not settle for the lower rate version, for the less quality, for the half a dream, for the half a wish. Don't settle for the thing that isn't fully what your heart desires, what your spirit calls to, what that wish is. If you settle for half of it, you are still going to long for the other half of it. And it's coming. It's perfectly achievable. It might take a lot of work. It might take effort. It might take energy, but this isn't going to be slog. This isn't going to be struggle. When it's in alignment for you, you are going to be in this energy. my nails, of the Son of Swords. So this would be the Knight of Swords. As wands, sorry, I keep saying things are swords. You could be really in your mental energy overthinking everything, as I keep referring back to swords instead of wands. This is a shift from that mental energy of thinking, overthinking, dreaming, wishing, and actually thinking, well, this is just a dream, this is just a wish, into, no, I'm going to take action. I have the passion, the vision, the motivation, the energy. This is where it ignites. And you begin working towards it. And where it might feel like struggle, it might feel like hard work before, when something's truly in alignment, you are going to find the energy. Things are going to move. Things are going to manifest. Things are going to be created. You have victory here with the Six of Wands. And the victory is the personal transformation. The victory is that you did not settle. The Death card here is the transformation from this passing, from releasing this old dream, this old wish, the place that you were settling, the version of ourselves that would have settled for less. When you transform that, when you allow that to release, when you allow that energy to go, this is where it all shifts. There is an identity here that was very much you, that has got you this far, but you are now being asked to maybe take a step back with this, don't let pride get in your way. You know, that keeps you grounded. That asks you to really be honest with yourself. Maybe you achieved a lot materially, but you still feel like something is missing and you need something deeper. Maybe you've been chasing a particular type of person for a relationship, but deep down you know there are other qualities that really matter to you. And maybe there are opportunities that you have overlooked, thinking that they weren't right because of the way they looked or because of the way other people might perceive them, when actually it could be perfect for you. This message here is that you can absolutely have the full deal. There is no reason why you cannot. But what you need to do now, the positive change in your path, is when you accept there is a version of you ready to emerge, transformed, that can have it, that already has it, if you want to speak in manifestation language, and it's you becoming that version of you, which means letting go maybe of some circles of friends or habits, patterns, things that you have done, old dreams, wishes, identities, putting in the work, the belief, the faith, the actual positive energy into not settling. Because the sun is right there. This is where it all births into being. And it is tangible. And not just something that you get a taste of, something that you get to keep long term. That becomes your new baseline. This is the energy we're feeling right now. This smoky quartz is literally to help you transmute this stuck, challenged energy, maybe anxiety, maybe difficult energy. It might even represent some of the people around you or past beliefs and thoughts that you've had about who you were and who you were going to be. Say, for example, you had a bully or toxic relationships, things like that. People that told you what you could be, who you could be, where your limits were, where your ceiling was. This is the moment at which you get to choose and transmute that. And smoky quartz might be a very powerful ally in this transformation, in this metamorphosis process. And this is beautiful because it absolutely ties in with this energy. You know, lotuses grow under deep, dirty, silty soil. And then they emerge these beautiful flowers. They just rise up, much like dragonflies. And obviously a frog goes through a similar process. It goes through many stages of its life before it becomes a frog and finally gets to experience all the things that a frog can. Before it is fully a frog, it is completely kept in the water, in its small pond. When it becomes the frog, it can finally leave the pond and go somewhere brand new. I feel like this is quite fitting for you right now. Let's get a couple of... Oh, this happened earlier. Let me reach those cards. I'm going to need to pause it so I can get them. I'm going to take them because I think they were right. Joy and delight. Open your heart to joy and choosing your path. All is possible. I think those are absolutely the two things. You know, with the Water Guardian coming out, joy and delight, open your heart to joy, reconnect with the things that make you happy. Maybe you've been working towards goals, experiences, the attainment of things that now no longer make you feel good. Maybe the focus was on having a particular car, a particular image, a particular house, and now you're like, no, that doesn't make me happy. I don't want that. This is you choosing your path. If you could have absolutely anything, what would it be? If you perceive no limitations, no reason why you couldn't, and you had unlimited resources. What I'm trying to emphasize is nothing to say you can't. What would you choose for yourself? That's a very powerful place to begin to ask yourself those questions. And I think, I hope just even that prompt might help you to reconnect with that inner voice. Look up. I love this. This is looking beyond your current self, your current circumstances. This card I know has never come out in a reading before. I love it. It feels to me like it's speaking on so many levels. I think it's asking you to set your sights higher. It's asking you to look beyond your present circumstances, beyond what you've been settling for. What is it that you really want? If you look out on that beautiful horizon here, and anything is possible, what do you want? Look up, look around you, look at the world, look at what other people are doing. Not to compare yourself, but do you actually want that? Does that actually feel true and aligned to your spirit, to your highest purpose, to your vision of your most beautiful life? Because everyone's vision is different. Get one or two final messages. Meditate. Now, I love this, but meditation can be different for everybody. Some people prefer, I can go into a meditative state through creative work. Sometimes it's out in nature. For me, it's very, very rarely sat cross-legged in intentional meditation. That can be very, very powerful, but I just want to emphasize that meditation can be different for everybody. It isn't one size fits all. This is about you taking that quiet time, as I said at the beginning of the reading, to reconnect with yourself, to breathe, to slow down, to find that inner calm, and ask yourself what it is that you want. It isn't going to be like everybody else. I really don't think it will be. I think this is about you really claiming your authentic truth from within so that you can change your life. And I think there might be people around you that have a difference in opinion. I'm really getting sodalite as a crystal as well. I believe that's very much about speaking your authentic truth and connecting to your higher self. Sodalite might be another crystal you'd like to work with if you work with crystals. But again, it's this blue energy, watery energy, reconnecting with a slower pace, a different frame of your existence. I feel like one card, and I'm going to pick a wild card. This will give me a visual cue. Well, that's interesting. To me, this looks like rainfall. And again, water represents our emotions. It could be tears. It could be that you need to cry, that you need to release. It could be that there is a moment, a time where, maybe for some of you, you just want to sit in the rain. That's sometimes really beautiful. Maybe it is listening to rain music, like rain sounds. If you find meditation hard, maybe it's just a deep, calm relaxation that you need. And listening to rain sounds might be really helpful, really powerful. But I do feel like this could be a deluge of emotions coming to the surface, something that is ready to be released, that might feel really heavy for a moment, but once you have allowed those emotions to be released, to be processed, and you, oh, actually, no, I've felt that now. I wanted that thing. For example, I wanted that thing so badly, I chased it because I didn't feel good enough. And I thought finally if I achieved that thing, I would feel good enough, I would feel happy. But actually what I was doing was chasing somebody else's version of success. I wanted to feel accepted, so I felt like I fit in, so I wouldn't feel rejected. And actually, when I allow myself to feel my truest emotions, I realize that isn't what I want. What I want is to be able to do this thing, to live freely in this way, to have this experience. And now that I've released those emotions, I'm not carrying that within me anymore. Now I have the freedom to do it. Wow. I love that. So, pile number 1, I'll leave your reading here for you. As a reminder, this is a collective reading and not all of these messages might feel right for you, but take what does, leave what doesn't. And please remember, you always have free will to pick a different path and a different outcome. If you'd like a personal reading, those are available. My link is in the description box below. Please be mindful of people that are using comment sections and other things to try and solicit business. My readings are only available on my website and Etsy. Feel free to reach out to me on Instagram if you'd like to connect with the other areas of work and things I do and share. But thank you for your time and your presence here. I wish you so much love, happiness and success. And I will speak to you again in another reading very, very soon. You take care now. Bye-bye. Hello, my beautiful pile number 2s. Now, I want to come out and just before I even start your reading, ask you what you're up to, because this energy shift between pile number 1 and pile 2 is like you are just showing up so completely differently in some aspect of your life. It's almost like you have taken the reins of yourself, maybe expressing a brand new part of yourself, and you are just like, I'm there. I love this energy shift. It feels so intentional, empowered, and just full of fire in the best possible way. So let's get in. Let's do your cards. This is going to be the positive shift on your path ahead. We have the goat and the willow, overcoming obstacles. I love that. I've just lit some beautiful Ganesh incense. King of fire, which would be the King of Wands. We have a personal issue reaches resolution, forming in Cancer. Guardian angel, you are not alone. And sage, be devoted and committed. Interesting. So this energy is far more grounded. This energy is far more fiery. Like this change is happening. This shift in your path right now, this feels like a right now thing. This feels very much, if you felt drawn to this pile, you have already begun making changes. You are already doing things differently. You might have stepped out with Guardian Angel, you are not alone, and Sage here. You might have stepped out of a particular existence. That sounds a bit wild, I get it, but maybe it's just the way you've been showing up for yourself, for others, the situations you are willing to put yourself into, the ways of expressing yourself. This is you drawing a line and saying, no, I'm not doing that anymore. You've already done that. You have already taken this positive step. And what the message I'm getting is that whereas pile number 1, to give you some contrast, they have a process in order to shift their path. You have already created a change which has shifted your path in a way that you might not have realized yet. You have decided to commit to yourself, to show up for yourself and express yourself with the fullness of your own personal fire. And the fact that this is the King of Fire is telling me that this is actually quite grounded. It's intentional. This isn't just somebody burning out, going big or going home. This is you going, no, I know who I am. I know how to walk in that circle. I know how to step into that room. I know how to hold my head up. I know who I am. I know how to express it. And this could be anything. This could be making a choice that empowers you. Whether it was health or fitness related, whether it's career related, whether it is removing certain toxic substances or people from your life. That's the way you've shown up. And I think this message is that you haven't seen the change yet. You've created the change. You can't see how that path has shifted, the new trajectory, the new doorways that are going to open because you've made this decision. You've already made it. You've already walked through that door. You might have slammed it behind you as you went and said, I'm done with that. That's the energy I'm feeling. And citrine is very much this beautiful card of manifestation about things coming to you. It's about abundance, being open to receiving, being open to that flow. You let something out. You made a choice. You made a decision. You chose you. You chose your future. You chose your success. You chose your vision. You're now being told to stick to that path. Keep doing what you're doing. Be devoted and committed. Stay true to who you are. Have that vision. There's eyes here. We have the eye on the peacock feather. There. And then we have this eye at the top of this pyramid, which is also this Merkaba. This also, in a 2D sense, looks like a 6-pointed star. Another eye up here, which is like the third eye. We have this very interesting patterning on the goat. I mean, to me, that's a lot of eyes. But they're all singular eyes. I mean, obviously we've got 2 eyes here, but this to me is just saying you've had the foresight. You saw what you were doing. You saw perhaps it wasn't a good decision. Maybe it wasn't the path for you. Maybe it wasn't what you wanted. You've made the change. You have already made a decision that has fundamentally shifted your path. And this is telling you now to stay committed to who you are, to who you're going to be, and to keep showing up in this energy of this King of Wands, this King of Fire, regardless of gender. Gender doesn't come into this. You can be any gender and express your King of Fire. This is you knowing who you are, having confidence, knowing that you don't have to be, how do I put this? You don't need to be the center of attention. You are just going to stay committed to who you are. You're not really bothered about who's looking. You're doing this for yourself. And that change comes from you being committed to yourself. It's powerful. I love it. I feel like I might do 2 tarot decks for you. Let's see what comes through. How many cards want to come through? So I'm doing first the Wild Unknown Tarot. Yeah. What does pile number 2 need to know, please, about the positive change in that path? It seems to want to go that. I don't read these cards in the reverse. That is the deck creator's preference. Okay. I am going to clarify with another deck, but I also want, yeah. I think she needs to go there. Let me just check you can see them all. I will give you my rundown in just a moment. So, there's a lot of passion, a lot of power, a lot of energy. This is good. I want to say that straight away. I think you are going to attract some attention of people who maybe wonder how you're doing what you're doing when the success starts to come, when these doors begin to open. You might have some other people looking, and they're not haters. I just think you might be having some people looking and going, how the hell did you do that? If I'm quite honest. What did you do? How did you change? You know, the sorts of people who might be watching you that say, how did you do that overnight? They might not see you for some time and then they go, how did you do that? And the fact of the matter is, it isn't overnight. This is you being consistent, committed to yourself, devoted to that vision, your highest good, and not giving in to the temptation that comes. And there might be temptation. As some of these new doorways open, there might be new temptation. There might be new opportunities, new offerings. Maybe somebody wants to pull you back into the version of you that they remember. Maybe some of these opportunities come with a side of temptation that you are going to have to use your discernment in this Father of Swords, the King of Swords, to go, actually, that isn't what I want. Like I want it with the Mother of Swords. This would be, the Mother of Wands, the Queen of Wands. You might be like, it's kind of tempting. Like, this could be a lot of fun. I could mess around and find out. But this Father of Swords, King of Swords energy comes through and is like, no, look at this. This is like you, a higher self version of you looking at yourself in the mirror and going, are you really going to do that? That is the level of clarity you have walking into this. It's positive. It's powerful. The world is opening up for you. You've got the Three of Wands, the Three of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, the world. This is really, really good. The world is going to open up. You don't see how the path has shifted. You don't see it. It's already happening. It's unfolding. New opportunities. I really see you being invited into new rooms, to new circles, new opportunities to celebrate. The things that you once prayed for, hoped for, wished for, they're now manifest. You're enjoying them. Or this is where this particular, it might be a mindset shift. Maybe this is where that mindset shift takes you. Opportunities to travel with the Three of Wands, 100%. There is new focus. This is you being asked to focus on what it is that you want. Where do you want to go? What is it that you want to do? It is all opening up. The end of the difficult cycle is over. The personal issue that has been difficult is over. Or at least it can be over and continue to be over. You can keep building on that success. And I want to be very careful how I phrase this, because this isn't like and if you don't do that, you're going to fall back. Hey, we all shift. This is just saying, keep doing what you're doing. Remember the version of you that struggled. Because this version of you, this empowered version of you, will have new struggles. That doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong. What this is saying is be mindful of reverting back to the old version of you, especially when success is, when you're in a high, when you're in a peak, that can be the moment where the temptation comes most of all and says, it's like dieting, for example. I've been really, really good. I've lost some weight, or I've done this, or I've achieved this goal. I've hit this number, or I've lifted this number in the gym. And then all of a sudden it's like, so I can take a week off. So I can go and eat that, or I can go and do this, or I can go. And it's like, this is the self-sabotage, I think, with the devil. This card is being mindful of the patterns, the cycles you've really worked hard to break, and remembering your power, because these new opportunities are coming. They are on this path. You are already probably experiencing them, seeing them. They're already there. But there is just a snipsy little reminder here of not slipping back into old patterns. And even if you do, that's okay. What do we got? The Three of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups on the bottom. Yeah. It's interesting. I was really intuitively guided to look at the next card on the bottom of the deck. The Three of the Pentacles and this particular deck is a mountain. Normally in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot, it's a cathedral being built. Now, both of these things take time. To reach the peak, they take time. But there are multiple peaks. You know, as I said, when you reach a peak, sometimes that's the moment at which you throw all your progress out the window for a night, and you don't necessarily undo yourself. You just slip into an old groove. And then it's like, oh, now I've got to pull myself back out of it again to get back on track. And you will. You will get yourself back on track. The path up the mountain is difficult. You reach the peak, and guess what? You then realise there's another peak. And this is the journey of life. It only is over when it's over. And the thing is, you want to keep having goals, dreams, and visions that can grow with you. So this is sort of saying, you have done a lot of work. You have reached a powerful place. You have absolutely shifted in magnitude, in gravity, in your understanding of who you are and what you can achieve. But now the vision has to grow with you, which might feel intimidating. Yeah, I'm deciding which ones I feel called to. Interestingly, it's these with the angel hair quartz. It's like you need a bit of extra fire. There's a little... For some of you, this could be to do with addiction, with that devil card coming out, especially with this Three of Cups. Maybe you finally get to a position where it's like you've worked really, really hard. And now all of a sudden you're getting in multiple invites out to celebrate, to do things. And it's like, okay, don't undo all your progress by allowing yourself to be pressured into doing something that you have outgrown. I think that's the best message I can share. Let's get a couple more cards for you. Any more message for pile number 2, please? Page of Wands, the Hermit, okay. Page of Swords. There's a lot of people. There are a lot of people watching you. It really does feel that way. Maybe you're on social media, maybe you have a big social media presence, or maybe this is just people. You've got lots of different circles, because these are all different. Maybe you've got lots of different circles of people. There are a lot of people watching you. They're watching your change, your success, your rise, your growth, whatever it might be. And they're looking at you and going, like I said at the beginning, like, how did you do this? And it doesn't feel like hater energy. Some of it might be, you know, that is, yeah, some people get that. But I honestly think sometimes we need to focus less on that and focus more on ourselves. Easier said than done, I know sometimes, but... Okay, then we've got the Tower and the 4 of Wands in the reverse on the bottom of the deck. There's 6 of Swords. I hope you can see that. I really do feel like there is... If there is chaos that comes into your life, it is going to be at the hands of other people who maybe don't have the best intentions for you. And I really do feel like these are people from your past. This 6 of Swords here is about walking away. Do not abandon the version of yourself that you've worked so hard to cultivate, to try and keep people happy from your past. People that didn't support you in getting there. You know, maybe you achieve a certain level of success. Maybe, oh, I'm just thinking of examples. Maybe you suddenly achieved a certain level of fame, or suddenly got the big house, or bought a holiday house, or the nice car. All of a sudden, people want to be your friend. Or friends that were your friends that had no interest in you suddenly coming out of the woodwork. It feels like the only warning here, and there didn't need to be a warning, is that if it feels like somebody is not got your best interests at heart, trust your intuition. If you feel like somebody actively wants you to turn away, I'm going to pause for a second. This Hermit, when you look at the Hermit looks alone. The Hermit holding inside his lantern, he has the star. That is his ultimate dream, vision, goal, what he is working towards. You might have come so far and achieved something really quite impressive, even if this is just like for you, if it was a health change or something, physical change, monetary change, whatever it might be. There could be people watching you that then want to be around you. But you will know whether these people are working towards the same things or whether they're trying to pull you back onto a path. What I'm getting continually is somebody wanting to take you out to celebrate, except you're going to be footing the bill. Or they might indulge in certain extracurricular activities which you have no interest in. You've long since outgrown. And you're not going to risk everything for this. This is where you walk away because you know it doesn't bring you what you want. Yeah, we've got the 3 of Pentacles there in the reverse. You're not going to undo the hard work. You're not willing to do that. The powerful shift on your path is already playing out. The actions that you have taken, the changes that you have made are the shift on your path. And you are very powerfully moving towards everything that you've ever wanted. And I say that not lightly, but because we have the star within the Hermit, you've been focused on that. Maybe you felt isolated. Maybe you felt alone. Maybe you suddenly feel, okay, maybe it's time to let some people in. This message is just saying, as this path expands, new doors are going to open. The world is going to open up for you. You have choices about where you travel, about where you go. Choices about who you're going to celebrate it with. just be mindful about who you let sit at your table, because not everybody might want what is best for you, especially if you find yourself suddenly in a powerful position with more resources, or like I said, a level of fame, or whatever it might be in your life. You know, this is, if people are jealous, let them be jealous. You're not responsible for their feelings when you're just focusing on yourself, living your life and working towards what it is that you need to work towards. They were going to have to do what they need to do to focus on themselves. And it's not saying shut everybody out. It's just saying be mindful of who you let in. That King of Swords is remarkably discerning as to who he does. And you have come very far. You've worked very hard to overcome something. This is just saying to keep doing what you're doing and don't allow others to undo that for you. Not out of fear, because you don't need to be scared. But also just be mindful of the people that have not done this for themselves. And just that kind of self-sabotage energy of, oh, it's just one night, it's just one this, it's just one that. Stay focused and committed to yourself. That devotion, that sage devotion and commitment to yourself. And I think the guardian angel, if you are feeling lonely, maybe you have come so far, but you really have had to focus so hard on yourself and you're feeling lonely. It isn't worth letting somebody in that is just for the sake of letting them in, if they're going to pull you back into this version of yourself that you've had to heal so hard from. It doesn't mean block everybody from coming in. But with this Four of Wands in the reverse, it is very much just don't share your table and your hard-earned self with people who do not want what's best for you. I hope that makes sense. Let's get a couple of oracle cards for you. You should be really, really proud of yourself as well for how far you've come on this journey. Grace and gratitude. I love that. Through gratitude, joy expands. You should be grateful. Oh, this is terrible. I dare say there is an awful lot of people, resources, things that have assisted you, but that silly Snoop Dogg interview where he's like, first of all, I want to thank me. That came through immediately, which is why I kind of winced, because I'm like, what? But the gratitude side of things, loving yourself enough to stay committed and devoted to who you are, who you've become, is a big thing. But the grace, like the Snoop Dogg thing, isn't graceful. It might be real, it might be honest, but it isn't grateful. And very rarely are we always completely on our own, even when we feel most alone or like we've had to do everything by ourselves. Sometimes there are people there where they've just been in the background giving us a helpful nudge, a message here and there, you know, whatever it might be. There are always people, and there are often people looking up to you that you don't even realise. Having that grace and gratitude for the journey that got you here, remembering how far you've come, is going to help you from slipping back. And it's, like I said, it's not with this mountain, maybe you do go back a few steps sometimes. It's not the end of the world, but it just might, with the devil coming out and the tower, it's just saying, you don't have to keep doing that to yourself to be around these people. All of us take steps back. Sometimes that's part of the healing process. We need to go back, revisit, to process from a completely different lens. That is a big part of healing. So it doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. Sometimes we have to be triggered in order to heal. Controversial opinion, but from experience, that's the way it goes. But the individuality card is coming out. With this hermit energy, I think that's really powerful self-expression. I think this is you choosing to do you, to be you, to love you, to nurture you, to value you in all ways, every day. And recognizing that your life might look different to those around you as it might have been a year ago, 2 years ago. even maybe just since the beginning of the year or the end of last year. Maybe that's really difficult for some people around you to understand. But it doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong. It means that you are committed to yourself, and this version of you, this higher self version of you that you know, you feel, you sense is right there. And it's, you know, the moth card coming out, with the moth coming out with all of those butterflies, you know, moths often receive a lot less notoriety than a butterfly would. Their process of transformation is exactly the same. And they are creatures that often emerge in the dark hours, but they are most drawn to the light, you know. You might have been through an awful lot to get to where you are. And you deserve to be loved and protected for the individual that you are. Like, don't let anybody doubt yourself. Don't let anybody make you doubt yourself. You've got a lot of oracle cards. You had Earth, Manifest, Serenity, and Balance. Yeah. With Earth, I really feel like this is a message of grounding. Grounding to your truest impulses. Okay, that's interesting. This ties in with this sort of addiction of who you might be spending time with. And addiction can be all kinds of things. We can be addicted to certain types of people and relationships, and to drama, because they stimulate hormones which are very addictive in the body. Maybe it's dating hormones, maybe it's substances, alcohol, whatever it might be. It's going to be different for everybody. Could just be repeating cycles. This Earth card is remembering your impulses, remembering your truest primal self, remembering that you were human. Ground. You know, you were doing these things. But this Earth card, to me, is saying that, you know, you might find that temptation comes up sometimes. Just like, it doesn't matter, just once. I think this is asking you to keep your highest vision. This terrifying owl eyes looking at me, you know, use that discernment. Use that level of discernment, that king level discernment. Like, no, I'm not doing that. You know, this fox is curious. Look at his little eyes, just like whimsically looking ahead, like, I could mess around and find out. I could, like, just once. Would it really be so bad? And this king of swords is just like, absolutely not. You know what happens. But I feel like this is you doing this for you. The balance is important, because I think you are going to find new ways. It's not about being a hermit forever, keeping yourself locked away. It's about walking away from the things that don't support your growth. Remembering what you're manifesting, what you're growing, what you're doing, what it is that you want to achieve. And finding peace within that. Because I feel like there is going to be there's a lot of busy energy of physically being busy, of doing, of being places, of being out. I just see that a lot, whether it's the new opportunities opening up. Finding this serenity to maintain your balance is important. You know, don't get swept up into old habits because somebody has offered you something that maybe you know isn't good for you or right for you. You know, just remember, you don't have to do it just because everybody else is doing it, or it doesn't have to look the way everybody else does it. I'm going to get one more little card. These have no words on them. It's just visual. I love how they just prompt an image. So we have books. Now, this might be asking you to study, to keep studying. I actually think, looking at this, feeling into this, it's reminding you that your life is an open book. You have absolutely walked through a threshold, and like I said, probably slammed the door behind you to create the change that you're currently experiencing right now. And this is empowering. This is you in a place of your own personal power. This is saying to you, your life is an open book. There are still more chapters to be written. So what would you like to be on those pages? There's no words on this. There's no lines. There's nothing drawn. There's nothing written. What would you like your next chapters of your life to be? You have the answers to those. You have the power. Life is opening up for you. And I think that's beautiful. I really do. I think, like I said, in terms of a positive change on your path, You don't see how the path has changed yet. You have just made changes which have fundamentally changed your trajectory. And pile number 2, in case no one else has said it, I am really, really proud of you, because this takes some doing. And you should be proud of yourself too. And this feels like a really good sort of place to stop the reading. This is fascinating. I love this energy. I would love to keep reading into this. It's going to be different for all of you though. If you do want a personal reading to get into specifics, then please do feel free. My information is in the box below. Please be mindful of people in the comments. They will not be me unless I'm replying to your comments. My readings are only available on my website and my Etsy store. But I love this for you. Sending you so much love and courage on your path ahead. I'm proud of you. And pile number 2, I will see you again in another reading. You take care. And then my beautiful pile number 3s. Okay. I have to start this reading with a question on why is your heart so heavy right now? It really feels like there is something that you've already decided isn't going to happen, despite it being the exact thing that you want to happen. And I think there might be a part of you that's just telling yourself it's not going to happen. And I feel like this is the energy that needs to shift. But let's get into it. Let's do your reading. Let's check your cards. That was just the initial channel message that came through. We have the porcupine and the anemone, boundaries. The scribe from the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. We've got the 8 of air in the reverse. We have got a time for healing, balsamic moon. I know it's there. There we go. Step out of your comfort zone with the North Node. Interesting. We've got the Seer, see beyond the current situation. And White Witch, be the light. Now let's just have a look at these. Okay, pile number 3. I get this feeling like this heavy-hearted energy where you feel trapped. I feel like you've been working very, very hard on yourself. And maybe you've had to step away from some things to put in boundaries. You've really had to define, like draw a line in the sand and define, this is where I'm not going to anymore. With the scribe here, this is higher wisdom, understanding, knowledge, learning, growth. Now it does feel like you've been doing this, and although you've been walking this path, you don't feel empowered yet. That's why we have this time for healing. You've probably made some changes recently. And it almost feels like the density, the weight of your present situation, it's a difficult one. Not to spiritually bypass it, but to remember that there will be something else that comes after this situation. That there is life and possibility and potential beyond this present moment, right now, with whatever you're struggling with, coping with, dealing with. And it almost feels like your heart is heavy because you don't feel like you're going to see the end of a positive outcome for this situation. And I feel like that density, that's a lot for you to carry. Please do reach out for support to anybody that you trust, that you can, if you feel that you need that. But I do feel with the porcupine and an enemy here, maybe you've been keeping people out, been keeping people away. Maybe you've had to, but there is a shift coming now. This is the positive change on your path ahead. I feel like this energy has been really dense and heavy for you for some time. This healing that's going to come through is going to help you see the new perspective, the new... I don't feel like it's what fully comes next, because that is different for everybody. And actually, I don't believe that you are in this situation supposed to see what comes next. I think it's for you to decide what comes next. That's why we have the boundaries. That's why you've been through this process of growth and learning, because you have the power to make the choice about what comes next. It isn't just happening to you. You have agency to make decisions in this situation. Okay, let's get your tarot. Let's read into this energy about the positive changes on your path ahead. And interestingly, the rose quartz is all about opening up the heart space, reconnecting with love, and not just the ability to give love, but the ability to receive love as well. So it really feels like this part of this journey might actually, stepping out of your comfort zone, might be opening yourself up to receive and feel love again as well, which can feel really scary. So let's see what comes through. Interesting. Ooh, I like this. We have got the Five of Cups, Judgment, the Ace of Wands. I'll get a few more before I cast any statements about this. This is the Wild Unknown Tarot, and it is always read in the upright. Ace of Swords, Five of Swords, and the Five of Pentacles. Interestingly, two of those came out for pile number 2. It's too soon for me to say whether or not I feel like that might work for you as well, but let's get into it. Get the bottom of the deck as well. Got the Two of Swords. Yeah. I really do feel, okay, now this is not a roast in any which way, pile number 3. I think there needs to be a call for self-compassion here. I think with this Ace of Wands and the Ace of Swords, this is about you taking back your power and actually taking back your mental real estate, your headspace, from anyone or anything that has been making you feel small or making you feel like things aren't possible. And if you've had past experience here with the Five of Cups and the Five of Pentacles that make you feel like the future can't have nice things, this is where that level of healing comes in. And that healing might come through in the Father of Swords style, single sword that goes, this needs to leave my life now. This is that judgment. It feels like either end here, we've got these fives. These speak of disappointment, of loss, of feeling like one has been left out, forgotten, that you've lost more than you've gained. And then you've got the Judgment and the Father of Swords, the King of Swords, which is really powerful energy of clarity, of seeing things clearly. Now, this might be between you and another person. For some of you, I'm just going to put this wild card out there. If this is about love for you, like, oh, and this isn't for everybody, but one person, maybe a couple of people in particular, this is about a romantic relationship, two different people feeling disappointed for different reasons, both having a moment of clarity, both having a moment of coming together, realization, and potentially having a new start. This is the Six of Pentacles, which is even better because in my mind, well, I'm getting all my Roman numerals mixed up today. I thought it was the 7, it's the 6, which is even better. This is a new beginning and something far more balanced. If this is just in your personal experience, this is you having these moments of clarity. I feel like there could be multiple different paths, different possibilities, different opportunities, represented by the fact that we've got the Two of Swords on the bottom of the deck. There might not be one clear path ahead for you. And every single one of them might feel like there is disappointment. But what I'm getting here most clearly of all is that no matter where you're starting from, you can't really pick the wrong path. Each path, even though they might be completely different, are going to be different processes. One of them maybe feels more spiritual, more aligned, more connected to your passion, to lighting up your inner being here. The other might feel like it's being like something you feel like you should do. If you've got two choices ahead of you, one might feel more spiritually aligned or more exciting, more passionate. The other might feel more logical, more sensible maybe. Each of those is going to take you on a process, and each of those processes is going to help you heal, help you have a realization, new awareness that is going to help you find balance. So there is a message here of your path right now is leading you on a bit of a journey of new possibilities, new experiences, exciting, positive, happy, new clarity, new ways of thinking, new ways of seeing the world, new ways of doing things, new ways of expressing yourself, things that are going to fundamentally shift the way you see the world, the way you understand the world, the way you understand yourself. And from this space, you then decide what it is you're going to do. This part of your journey in particular is taking you on an inner journey for deeper growth and healing that's going to bring you to somewhere that you far more deeply want to be. You don't see it right now. Right now, you might just see the struggle. You might just see the pain. You might just see that these two, whichever paths they are, they might seem painful, impossible, difficult. You might still be looking at the past and thinking, how did we end up here? There is no control over what has been. What has been has control over us until we heal. So this journey is about whatever's happened, wherever you're starting from. There isn't just one path ahead. You have multiple different options. This is about you finding within yourself new discernment between judgment and the Father of Swords. I'd say this is discernment, whichever path you take, to have these new experiences, new realizations, new awakenings that are going to bring you to exactly where you need to be. You could well already be on this path. You could be at the point at which you've got to make these decisions. And with the 8 of Wands underneath it, yeah, look, you've got the 8 of Swords. No, that is the 8 of Wands, not the 8 of Swords. But you've got the 10 of Wands. The 8 of Wands is actually a very positive card. You've got a decision that needs to be made. Things that will change rapidly, move quickly, and bring you to the end of this difficult cycle. Whatever this is on your journey doesn't mean it needs to be months, years. It doesn't need to be that way. The 8 of Swords is a card of swift movement. This could change very quickly for you. You could have this realization very quickly. You might try both of these paths and arrive at the same conclusion. Or like I said, this could be you and another person coming from slightly different angles, maybe having stepped away from each other, then walking towards each other, and you might not even realize that that's what you're doing. But at some point, you're going to have this realization and arrive at this place of clarity together. That won't be for all of you, for some. For others of you, this is about you having these almost dual journeys to reaching this inner place that feels good. It definitely feels good. They want me to use the Spacious Tarot. I love this. This is one of those very calm, beautiful, loving card decks for me. It's something that I don't do a lot of love readings, and that's intentional. But I do feel like this is one of those decks that I love to use for love readings or anything love related. I just turned it over. I don't normally do that. Falls on the bottom of the deck. Brand new beginning for you. Let's see what wants to come through. The 7 of Cups, yes. What have we got? Sorry, they've jumped on my lap. There we go. Well, true to form, my darlings. 7 of Cups, Elder of Swords, which is the King of Swords again. Strength, the Ace of Swords again, and the Guardian of Wands, which would be the Queen of Wands. And on the bottom of this deck, we have the 9 of Swords. Yeah, there could be a lot of doubt, insecurity, worry, concern here that has maybe potentially been holding you back for some time. Maybe you've tiptoed around making this decision. Maybe this decision does involve moving away from something, and that is not a call that you have wanted to make. However, it feels like when you have the courage to trust this path, to use your judgment, to recognize that the choice is yours, you are going to go on this journey. A journey that is going to show you that even no matter what choice you'd made, the journey was important for your becoming and what comes next. The positive shift on your journey is that you are absolutely, yes, you're going through something right now. Let's not diminish that. The positive change is that this journey is going to quickly change. You might go on a few different, detours or different directions, or you might be making a decision now to go in a particular way. But this journey is vital for your clarity, for your mental clarity, for what you're doing. You're going to receive the mental clarity for this King of Swords and the Ace of Swords to come out twice. You are going to receive that clarity. And this is where you see beyond the current situation. You have been dealing with something, maybe something, an experience that has held you back. This is the point at which you get the clarity where you realize you can overcome it, where you finally begin to trust, to open your heart again, whether that's trusting the universe, trusting in love, trusting in who you are, and for the life that you're going to live. There are new opportunities that await you. And, we've got the Ace of Wands here becoming the Queen of Wands. This is about you absolutely stepping into your power to make decisions, to make the choices about where your life is going. You've had to endure. You've had to have a lot of strength. You're going to gain a lot of strength. More importantly, you're going to gain clarity and insight that is going to take you forwards. There's a lot of different swords on this table, single swords as well, which makes me think that maybe perhaps, this scribe, I'm getting the journey of the wounded healer, with this scribe card, perhaps this journey, whatever you've been facing, dealing with, growing through, maybe it was necessary, vital, because what you're going to do with your life hereafter, maybe you're going to teach people. Maybe you're going to share your wisdom and experiences with others. Whatever you've been doing, overcoming, growing through, this is the point at which that wisdom becomes something that you share with others. And that is really, really powerful. So you've got a great deal of discernment, experience. This journey was not for no reason. Stepping out of your comfort zone means making the decisions that perhaps you've been scared to make. You are healing as you are walking. You are not arriving at a destination fully healed and going, okay, I'm done now. No, you're walking this path, and the path is helping you to heal. It's also helping you to learn so that you can help teach or heal others from your experiences, in whatever way that might be. Sometimes it's just the lived experience that you share with the people around you. You're just an inspiration. Sometimes it's actually taking on a role where you actively teach other people. But there is going to be abundance of and blessings that come from this. I wanted to say abundance of wisdom, but also abundance of abundance. And not just from the difficulty, not like it's a payoff. It's that you've turned this into something. You are turning this into something powerful, positive. And I don't think you see that yet. The positive change on your path is what you do with this experience. And that you are walking towards something that is far more balanced, rewarding. It balances the cosmic scales. For everything that you've given, maybe now you are ready to receive. Maybe before you were a bit blocked from receiving. Maybe you didn't trust. If this is love, for example, maybe you are finally ready to embark upon a new relationship, and this shift is the final step of your journey is finding that strength to open to love again, to be gentle again. You've got the strength, you've got all of that power, but allowing the heart to open again is a different kind of strength. It takes trust and takes faith. And as much faith in yourself to believe in yourself, and especially if this is two people walking their way back together. That also doesn't just have to be romantic, it could be a partnership. But again, it could just be the union of yourself from two different directions and experiences that you've had, and realizing how they come together. Whereas maybe before you felt separated. Now you're going to realize why you had these different experiences, why life had to be like this, and why it had now to come together in the way that it did. And this isn't, like I said, this isn't a very, very long time scale in this happening. This feels very soon, like it's already in process. Maybe you're just at that point of making the decision, or you're already walking. Maybe you've just made the decision. Maybe you're walking two things at the same time. Again, I don't know how that looks for you, but that has messages come through more than once. You are healing as you're walking. You don't need to stop walking to heal. Neither do you stop walking once you have healed, because the healing is going to carry on for everybody always. Let's get a couple of oracle cards for you. Okay, there's quite a few there. We've got Journey by Moonlight, Believe in Magic. Wise Leader, you're a beacon for others. Navigating by the stars, follow your bliss. Breaking Trail, a breakthrough is at hand. Traveling lightly, simplify your life. Do you know what I love about these? They literally sum up what I've just said. Navigating by the stars, you're finding your way, listening to your inner truth and discernment. That is your compass. That is what's guiding you. Breaking Trail, maybe your path doesn't look like everyone else's. Maybe that's what this change in course is. Maybe that's what this decision is about which path you take. You know, maybe that breakthrough comes when you say, I'm not doing it the way everyone else has expected me to do it, told me to do it. I'm going to do it this way. And that actually becomes your breakthrough. Traveling lightly, maybe there is a need to focus more on yourself or remove certain influences and things out of your life. You might be drawn to one of the other piles or all of them. And I appreciate these readings quite long today, but if you have the time and you feel like it, there might be messages for you in each of these piles, and it might be sequential for you. But also simplify what you're taking with you. And if you're, in that path of healing, if you are carrying past stuff, that can be really, really heavy. So this could literally be saying to let some of that go through your healing process, through your commitment to heal. Some of that weight you don't need to carry anymore. Journey by Moonlight, Believe in Magic. I love this again. And Navigating by the Stars. This is saying to me, the path may not fully be revealed. You might not fully know where you're going with what you're doing. And I do feel that has been, that belief at the very beginning that came up of, why should I try? It doesn't feel like it's going to happen anyway. That almost defeatist, already defeated attitude. This is me feeling very strongly like you were being given an insight into where you need to go, and you're being asked to trust in your insight. That's where you're navigating by the stars. You won't necessarily see it all, but there is going to be magic along the way. And the wise leader here, you're a beacon for others, 100%. This is that point at which you begin guiding others through similar journeys on similar paths because of your experience. And again, you might not be doing that in a conscious way. Other people might just be looking up to you. But whatever you're doing, you are shining your light, and that light is guiding you. And you continue walking forwards and towards it. Other people are going to take notice. Especially people that are struggling or have had similar lived experiences. People of similar energy frequencies are naturally drawn to one another. So you might find that you just all of a sudden have people around you that have similar experiences. They're being drawn to the energy of what you're currently working through. You are an energetic match in that respect. It's also unfortunately how we can end up trauma bonding with people in a different tangent completely, but this feels very much like you're attracting people to you that either you can learn from or that can learn from you. And you don't have to directly teach them. It feels like something that's just naturally going to happen. Conversely, you might also choose to consciously teach others to help them through this similar experience. Apologies, pile number 3. I used all the space in my camera with this reading. Your oracle cards. I had to delete some stuff and come back. Sorry about that. You have mindful and you have nature. Interesting. I think this is about you, about saying to you to make time for yourself. Perhaps being in nature is particularly healing for you. Spending time where you feel at peace, where you feel relaxed. If you are dealing with a very heavy situation, something that's taking an awful lot of energy and effort and focus and growth, take the time to be still, to go to the places that feel healing for you, that feel peaceful for you. Don't overlook that aspect of your life. It is just as important as all of the work that you were doing. Got community. I love this even more because I think this is saying to you, focus on the people around you, the people that lift you up, the people that help you. But also, I think you're going to find yourself perhaps within a community of people where you help and heal others, where you can do these things. Your community might look a bit different from you, but I feel like you are all going to come together with a common or shared experience or goal. And maybe finding that community to help you as you heal is going to be very, very empowering for you, but make you feel safe, make you feel connected to others, and maybe not so alone. You might also see how others have found their way through things, even though with Breaking Trail, I do feel like you're walking a path that is very much yours. I'm going to get one of these little cards as well. This will just be an intuitive message. It's just a picture. So let's see what comes through as your final message. You got 2. No, you got 3. Oh, you got several actually. Do we take them all? Do we take them all? Do we take them all? Didn't happen with any of the other readings. I feel like I should. Your journey doesn't look like everybody else's because you are a unicorn and unique. We have a bus stop here with more lily pads. Now, lily pads came up in pile number 1. Very importantly, why there'll be lily pads next to a bus stop, I do not know. I feel like this is representative of a healing journey to growth, remembering that your journey doesn't need to look like everybody else's. You are a unique individual, and for as much as things might have fallen apart and unraveled, you do have the ability to create something from what you have right now. You don't have to wait for a moment where everything is perfect to be worthy, to be able to do something. You have the ability to create something right now from where you are. With all of these skulls, I feel very much like these are all entangled together. There might be multiple visions of self, dreams, hopes, maybe a lot of grief coming up about a life that you thought you were going to have, about the way things were going to go. And it feels like this is going to be released now. You know, transformation that comes through endings. Maybe there's a lot of skeletons in the closet, because I feel like this goes with this card as well. You know, if you feel like lots of people are watching you, I think this card could work both ways. I feel like if you are in the fog right now, there are people there that can walk you through that you can reach out to. Maybe you just don't know them yet. But also you might fear the people who you might think are trying to work against you. And again, you know, this is where you use your judgment, use your intuition, which is very much a part of this. You know, there might be lots of people that reach out, and not all of them might be people that you wish to engage with, but it does feel like very much, I want to get the bottom one as well. Yeah. You're going to turn it into something beautiful. You are going to create something beautiful from these experiences. And I feel like there could be new things on the horizon, just slightly out of reach that you don't see yet. But also, you know, just be mindful perhaps about sharing what you're dealing with that card there in particular, those two I'm getting. You know, if you're feeling vulnerable, if what you've been experiencing and dealing with makes you feel very vulnerable, or it is just deeply personal, you don't need to share that with everybody, you know, in the immediate sense. And it feels like, allow yourself to trust in your community, establish your community and who you can trust. And when you're ready to share. But it feels like community first. And then whatever this is that you fear, you are going to find your way through that. You are going to find your way through the things that you are most fearing right now. I feel like we could have just kept going with this one, pile number 3. I've loved these readings today. As always, this is a collective reading. If you would like a personal reading, they're available in my information in the description box below. I will never contact you through messages to sell you a reading. Please be mindful of people and impersonators. But I hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you for being with me. Just sending you all my love, and good luck with all of the decisions you're making, the paths that you're choosing, and walking as you heal and healing as you walk. So much love and respect for you, pile number 3. I will speak to you again really, really soon. You take care. Bye-bye.